Welcome back to Gloved Up Garage. If you guys have this 301 piece toolkit from Harbor Freight, you know how frustrating this thing can be. While it is very convenient, it's pretty heavy. And I think I run into an issue that a lot of you have run into, and I see some people talk about it in groups on Facebook and stuff like that. While these tools do snap into this case, and it keeps it pretty organized, sometimes these little liners will come out and you'll get that right there. This big mess of sockets should be here and now they're there. So even with that stuff in place, these things move around quite a bit. And if you're on the side of the road trying to work on something, or like I've done in the past where I was going to pick up a project car and trying to dig around and find sockets, this thing is a nightmare because of how big it is. And, you know, when you're trying to find something really quick, it makes it difficult, especially when you get a pile of sockets like that. My solution to making this better is getting it out of this huge case and breaking it down into lighter, more usable, and quickly grabbable pouches. So in the past, when I would go to the junkyard, I would grab my good Craftsman sockets, throw them into a pouch, throw it into that backpack, and take it with me to the junkyard. And for the most part, that worked out well. I would have the pouch right there at the side of the car. I would be able to go through all of my metric sockets, my 1/4 inch, my 3/8, half, whatever I had with me. I could go through, grab the socket I need, get it onto the impact, socket wrench, whatever it is, get the part off, and then put the tools back into the pouch. Most of the time at the junkyard, they didn't really care about the pouches. They would open them up just to make sure I wasn't stealing like bolts or fuses or whatever. But that worked out to be a pretty good solution instead of just throwing everything into like the bottom of this bag. So my thought, these are the pouches I used to use when I would take my tools to the junkyard. I have another one around here somewhere that was like a 3-pack that I bought, and I think it may have came with the backpack. I can't remember, but this worked out really well. So what I did was I got on Amazon and I ordered some of these bags. They're made by Coreflex. They are a nylon material. We got the carabiner on the end, and then I'll open one of these up and show you why I went with this specific bag versus some of the other pouches that you might see on Amazon. With this style, on the inside of the pouch, there's a couple little pockets, and I thought, well, that might be even better for organization. And they had this area on the outside that you could write what's inside of it with like a Sharpie marker or something, which works out really well because I'll never remember what colors I used for what drive, what size sockets, whether it's standard or metric. I'm not going to remember any of that, but I can look down and say, okay, well, that's got 1/4 inch metric stuff, or I might put all of the 1/4 inch in these. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this yet, but I wanted some versatility to it instead of just throwing it in one of those old style pouches. These have the little organizers on the inside. So I ordered 6 of these off of Amazon. It was a pack of 6 for like $25. And I thought, well, that's a pretty good deal. Before I made it to Amazon, I went by Tractor Supply and they had these hanging up. I think it was like $10 for these 3 pouches. And I picked up 2 of those and thought, well, the smaller pouches might be better for obviously smaller sockets. Like there's some screwdriver bits and things like that that are included with this toolkit that I don't necessarily want a huge pouch full of small bits. It would be nice to have a smaller pouch, and that's what this 3-pack is. I actually grabbed 2 of them, and I wound up using the middle one for a different project. I actually use that for my tire plug kit that I keep in my daily driver. So I've got those other 2 left over from the 2 3-packs. So I'm into this for about $50 so far, plus the cost of the toolkit. I'm going to sit here and get all of this kind of organized into these pouches and then figure out how I'm going to handle the pouches. If I'm going to get a tool bag or a backpack or something to put all of these in, and we'll go from there. everything packaged into the pouches now, you can see we're saving a lot of space. Overall, weight-wise, this is going to be much more manageable to break up into these pouches versus that huge box, if you want to call it that, with one handle. I found another old tool bag that I used to use to just throw random stuff in. Most of the time nowadays, because of the Milwaukee stuff coming with bags, if I'm going to work on something, I need to grab some stuff real quick, I usually just throw everything into a Milwaukee bag. So these older bags have gone by the wayside. Obviously, been a long time since I used my junkyard tool bag, but I still want to leave this backpack open. My thought now, I'm going to move this stuff into these two bags, and I've got everything kind of broken up into metric and standard. I mean, there is that one bag that's got all of the wrenches in it, the other bag that has all of like the socket, wrenches, extensions, swivels, all that kind of stuff in it also. We'll put that into the heavier of the two bags, this AWP bag, and we'll see how that works out. All right, so my idea, I'm going to use this one, this AWP, a lot more than I'm going to use the little black one. So all of the standard stuff is going to go in the little black one. So this is an 11, this is a metric socket. And I made sure to put those little silica packets back in there because I don't want anything to get rusty. That means these are standard, 1/4-inch drive, they can go in there. And I'll go back and mark it. Let's see, 11/16, these are standard sockets. That's my 3/8, so it can go in there. That means that this is my metric. Yep, metric sockets. 3/8 drive. This is going to be my 1/2 inch. These are standard, so that can go in here. Try to make some room in there because you've got those other sockets. Okay, so this is my screwdrivers and stuff like that. I know these are going to get used a lot. Unfortunately, this bag is just going to be the heavier of the two, but still be lighter than the whole thing. All right, these are extensions and swivels. This is my Allen head stuff. So kind of distribute this out a little bit. We're not going to use that very often. We can go into that. This is going to be 1/2 inch metric. So it can go in here. And then the last one's going to be my socket wrenches, which obviously we're going to use that a lot. Okay, so I could compress that, zip it down. Same thing with this. Now we've got this broken into two pouches, two bags that we can grab quickly. That's probably, I'm going to say 6 or 7 pounds. A little bit heavier, maybe 7 to 8 pounds. This has the shoulder strap on it, which is a whole lot easier to carry than the handle that's on that big box. I've also got some gloves in here, as it may surprise you, because this was something I used to go to the junkyard also. If I really wanted to, I could take some of the stuff that's in some of these pouches and stick it on the outside. I don't really like having a lot of stuff hang on the outside of these bags, and I may wind up getting, I don't know, a different kind of bag. Not really sure what I want to do just yet, and that's kind of why I'm making this video. Is I'm not really sure what the process looks like, but so far I'm happy with what I've got here. This is just the beginning for me. I'm sure I'll change this up a little bit in the future, but I wanted to see how this would work. Kind of the similar process of packing that up for the junkyard, but packing these up to take into my daily driver, because I just never know when I'm going to need tools. And there's been times when I've been at work and I've been working on something, the Explorer, one of the project cars that I might have bought at work, and I needed some tools and didn't have any there, and that puts me kind of in a bad spot. I don't like to borrow tools from the guys at work because that's their daily income, and I don't like borrowing tools, especially when I got stuff like this at home just sitting around collecting dust. So that was one of the main goals that I had in mind, was to be able to throw this into the daily, and I've got the tools that I need to work on something, and I can just go back there and grab one of these and take it into work. This is one of those ideas that's been rolling around in my head for a while, and I've finally got some time to sit down and make this video and get all this stuff organized. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If this is your first time to the channel, thanks so much for popping in, watching the video. Drop me a comment down below and let me know what you guys think of this. Was it goofy to go from this large case into these two bags? Does it make sense to you all what I'm doing? Do you all have a similar setup or something better than what I've come up with here today? So just drop that in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember to stay gloved up.